Welcome to the 2019-2020 course registration guideline video for incoming seventh graders. If you are watching this, you are a parent or guardian of a current sixth grade student preparing for registration for the 2019-2020 school year. Before we get started and going through the process, just a couple bits of information that are very important to you. Number one, course descriptions were sent out earlier this week from Ms. Gentine. You should have had that sent and connected to through an email, and it is a link that was a part of an email. So please take time to read through those course descriptions before you go into course registration. It's very important because we base our master schedule on what students request and select in their courses at this time of the year. So it's really important to take the time, read through that information so that when you make your decisions, these are final decisions, and that'll help us with the process. Second, on March 6th, an email will be sent to you with this link. This link will contain the course registration for your child. The link is going to be sent to the first and second contact in your child's eSchool account. So that this way, in case one of the contacts does not have an email address, the second contact does, as well as any shared parenting situation. If for some reason neither one of you can find the link, check in your spam folder before contacting the middle school and requesting for a new one to be sent. Finally, the big thing and probably the most important thing, even though both contacts are going to get sent with the same link, only one of you please fill out the form and submit it. This way it'll keep our numbers and keep the confusion. If for some reason two of you send out the same request, we will take the second request, assuming that there may have been a correction to it. So just please communicate among yourselves and make sure that only one submission is sent through the emails. All right, so this way we're going to get started here. So what you're looking at on the screen is an email that you'll receive from us. And then the thing that you have to keep in mind is that even though you're getting the email on March 6th, the actual registration does not start until Friday, March 8th at 6 p.m. Again, let me say that the registration does not open until Friday, March 8th at 6 p.m. So if you attempt to try and go on and register, as I'll show you here, this is the message you will get. It will notify you that it's not accepting any responses until Friday, March 6th, March 8th at 6 p.m. So just keep that in mind as you go through this and prepare and wait for it. So let's take a look what it does look like as you go through the process. So here's one that you would get. When you click on it, the first thing I'll ask for is your email address. Please take time and put the email address that you want the course registration information to go to once you submit, because this will be important. You will get a copy of the courses that were requested through this process, and you want to hang on to that copy just to confirm once you get your child's schedule at orientation in August. So make sure you put your email address, but then as far as the first and last name information, this is your child, not you. Last year, we had some people unfortunately put in their names instead of their child's name. So make sure for the name, you put your child's first name, your child's last name, and probably the most important element is your child's student ID. If you're not sure, make sure you talk to your child or check with the school and get the correct ID number before submitting it in this course. Sometimes if we don't have the right ID, we may not get the course registration done correctly. And then obviously put in the gender. Once you get that information, so if this was for me, I would put this information in, my first name, my child's first name. So let's put in one of my children, which would have been April, and then her last name, and then student ID number, which is a 6-digit number. Once we have that information in there, then she was a female. Then you'll notice as you scroll down here, it will list out the academic courses that she would have been scheduled in, which is regular 7th grade math, language arts, regular 7th grade math, 7th grade social science, and then 7th grade world history. Now, for those students who are in honors math, what you will notice is the difference is that where it says the 703 7th grade math, it will list out 703A as intro to algebra, which is honors class, or if your child is single subject accelerated, it would be 2111 and 2112, which is algebra 1, which is an honors class. The next element here is making your selection of fine arts. So every student in the 7th grade is going to be placed in PE class. That is a day one, day two. Opposite of the PE class is their fine arts selection. So the choices that you have, as you see on here, is a visual arts class that would be every other day. There's also band, orchestra, and chorus. So your child will be able to select one of these fine arts classes and that will go opposite of their PE every other day. The second thing that they're going to select is their innovation elective class. They either have media makerspace or they have coding and robotics. One thing to keep in mind is that coding and robotics only has a limited number of spots. So if this is a class that you want your child to be in, then I would suggest that 6 o'clock on Friday when the registration opens, make sure you're on at that time and putting in that selection. If for some reason you are late, you will notice it will state that the coding robotics class is closed, and then it will have a waiting list if it's possible for anybody that's on that may get in if there's any openings. Then the second part here, or the last part on this sheet, is the Spanish visual arts class. Again, in this situation, the intro to Spanish class has a limited number of seats. So again, if this is a class that you want your child to be in, I would highly suggest that you get on the registration as early as possible. Again, just like coding and robotics, if the course is closed, if it has filled up, there will be a message on there indicating that information, and it'll give you the option to be placed on a waiting list. So let's see, if I go through here, I know my daughter was in chorus when she went through school. She definitely was someone who would be interested in Media Maker, but notice how this turns up. It won't allow you to go any further unless you complete both. So I have to put my second selection in there. And then on here, she was truly an art person. So we'll go in that. So now I can hit the next button, move on to the next section. These are the academic enrichment courses that a child is available to all 7th grade students. That will take up 2 semesters for one period throughout their schedule. So what we need you to do is take time with your child, read through the course description information, that link that was sent to you earlier this week from Ms. Gentine. Take time to read through those and determine and ranking with your child which ones they truly want. What we'll do is that when we schedule you, we're going to put your child in the first and second selections that you choose. Now, you'll notice that we ask you to rank them. Sometimes schedules get very intricate and get difficult, and as well for our academic enrichment classes, they are not offered every single period. So sometimes it will not align with your child's schedule, and we may have to go down to their 3rd, 4th, and 5th selection. So it's really important for you to take time and truly rank these in the way you would like the classes. But also don't be surprised is that when you get your child's schedule in August during orientation, that you may not have gotten your first or second choice, because that's possibly may not happen, especially for certain schedules and stuff. So on this, make sure you take the time to go through and rank them. You will notice the red cap that's on there until you get this done all the way through. So again, I'm thinking in my daughter's mind, I know she was truly into history and stuff, so I know she'd like to take that class. At the same time, I know she needed a little bit of time to get things done, so I put her in a research period. And then from that point, she did have interest in the engineering design, and then I'll rank this here. The idea launch is something she's like, I'm not really sure of. And then we'll take the Mason in the middle. And finally, notice when I put in the last one correctly, it goes clear and allow me to go to the next. If I were to accidentally put 2 in the same section, notice it goes red again and will not allow you to go to the next. You could push it and do as much as you can, but it will not work. So go through there. Once you hit the next, probably the most important element here is this one little button here. You need to make sure you click that on before you hit submit. So be patient, make sure that is selected, because without pushing that, you will not get the email that will share the course selections that you made for your child going into 7th grade. So once that is done, now you can always hit the back buttons, check things out, and then come back. It will keep everything in place. So like if I hit the back button, notice my selections remain here. If I hit the back button again, all my information and selections remain. So it doesn't clear it out, so you don't have to worry. And then once you get up here, just make sure that copy, send me a copy response is clicked, and then hit your submit. Once you hit submit, you will receive an email that gives you a confirmation of what courses you selected. Keep a copy of that. So again, once we get to in August when orientation is happening and your child gets their schedule, they can get comparisons. As always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to check with your child's current sixth grade counselors. They can help you answer some of those questions, but also make sure you take the time to look through our course description information that was sent in a link from Ms. Gentine earlier this week. Thank you.